Hello, hello, hello. This is Ken with CSLearner.com. Today I wanted to make us talk about classes. We'll make this we'll name it classes examples phrases. All right, let's see, and I'm gonna close all these real quick. Oops. I do not know. Sorry, my computer's lagging a bit. Come on. Alright. Let's make a new class. So I'm using Eclipse, so I'm going to be talking about the classes using using this Eclipse IDE. Let's see. Alright, there we go. This is from... Alright, so first of all, let's talk about what is a class. Alright, so we know that structures are variables on steroids, right? So a variable might be something like an integer value or a string value. A structure lets us create our own customized variable, right? So maybe in a video game you have a structure that hit points maybe, right? And this is a bad example, but like maybe the structure contains multiple integers such as maximum HP or or what else could you do? Maximum HP, current HP, right? Or maybe in your structure you could have a customized money system. Like in Harry Potter, if you got like 7 knuts or whatever they are, or you could increment up to a galleon. I don't know Harry Potter's actual system, and I'm probably spelling it horribly wrong, right? I just remember they have a weird money system where it's like 16 knuts equals a galleon or whatever. Alright, so a structure is a customized variable that the user can make by themselves, right? A method is like a variable action hybrid. Oops. I don't know what that is. So for example, if you create an eat method, the input could be food and the output could be poop or calories, right? So you put the input into the function or into the method, and it performs an action with the input, and then optionally return some output. Even the input is optional. So what is a class? A class is a structure and a method put together, basically. So we're going to create this class, and what it's going to do is there's 3 types of data you can have: private, protected, and then public. And this references whether or not someone can access it. Private, if memory serves, I know private and protected, they restrict access to the data, right? So usually what we'll do is we'll have private string phrase, and then we'll have a private string noun. And we'll do private string, oh shoot, is phrase a reserved word? Yep. It's, yep. I don't know. Actually, let's just do noun 1, verb, noun 2. So what this does is only our class can access these variables. Classes or the main can't access these unless they do it through our predefined method. So in a video game, if I have a private integer hit points, someone else can't say, hey, change his hit points to 0. They can interact with me if I create like a public, let's see, like a public void receive damage, right? And then they can int damage. And what I could do is be like, my HP is equal to HP minus damage, right? And so that what you do with methods is you create a predefined way to interact with the structure. Wait, let's see. It looks like it may have frozen on me. All right, there we go. So that being said, let's do private void. When you create a class, you create a copy of the entire class. So when I create a new phrase, you need to what we need to do is give it directions for how it's initially set up. So we'll create a constructor is what it's called. And you can either have default values or nothing, right? So let's do public void, or no, I guess it's public phrases. This is our constructor. And we'll do, if they don't put anything down, we'll do this verb equals eats. This dot noun 1 we'll make this one Jessica. No, the dog. We'll make this noun 2 equals dog food. And this is a constructor. Basically, you just set it up. So if they set it up, we're going to do 2 constructors. If they set it up and they put no input, they just say, I want a new phrase. It'll set up, the new phrase is the dog eats dog food. Let's move it. Let's move it so it's clear. And what this keyword does is it says this version of the class. So you can have multiple phrase classes. So I could create like 10 phrase classes. But if they create one and they don't put any input with the constructor, it'll just have a default value of the dog eats dog food. Now what we can do also though is create this constructor will let the user, if they decide to input something. And we'll do string noun 1, string verb, string noun 2. And actually, let's change how it shows up because we're just making sentences. And now what we'll do is if they set up the constructor and they input 3 strings into the constructor, it'll update so what this does is this indicates this copy of the phrase class. So this phrase class's noun 1 becomes equal to the noun 1 input, right? Now emphasize you don't have to do, so for this, when you do this, it has to match the name of the variables up here. For this, you could do it anything you wanted. This, so you could say draw, and then you would just change this. Right? And what it does is the user will just input 3 strings, but the order they're received in, we name the variables whatever. So in this case, since we named the first one like dog poop, that means like when we interact with the variable inside our class, we can like interact with it just by using the variable name we put here. Let's see, and we're gonna change it back from dog poop to noun 1. All right, boom. Now what we need is, let's make some methods, actions, right? Public, let's do public void yell phrase. And what this does is when they type the phrase's name, so if they make a new phrase class called Fluffy and they do fluffy.yellPhrase and then empty parentheses, it'll call this specific action from that specific copy. So for this one, we'll do, let's see. Or let's do noun 1 plus verb, noun 2. Oh, I forgot to do this. We're just concatenating it. Okay. And then let's also make a public string return phrase. We'll do return this noun 1 plus this verb plus this noun 2. So let's see. So public means anyone can access it. For our 2 methods, one is called one has string and the other has void. This indicates whether or not the function returns something. For example, in a main method, I could type something like this. String fluffy, well, we'll just name it string variable name is equal to phrases class variable name dot return phrase. And what this would do is in the main, it would allow me to return, it would be able to make the string variable name equal to whatever this gives it. Versus with this one, when it's void, let's see. Void means it doesn't return any data, basically. So when it does void, it'll output this, but doesn't return anything. So I can't make it, I can't do this. Let's see. So like this, do yell phrase. Since it doesn't return anything, all right. So now that we have our phrases class, let's make a main and test it. And we'll just name it main. We don't have to, but we'll name it main. So here we are using our constructor to create a new copy of the, or I guess it's called a new instance or copy of the phrases class. And now that we have that one, what we can do is phrase variable dot, and then we can, let's see, we can do yell phrase. Or alternatively, so what that'll do, let's actually test it real quick. Oh, oops. Let's do that. The dog eats dog food. So all it does is we initialized it with our default value, and then we used yell phrase. What we can also do though is phrases. Gosh, did I whatever? I'm pretty sure I misspelled something. Oh, this is nasty. Wow, I have a massive typo. Well, frick. Whatever. But then for this one, we're going to input 3 strings. And the first one's our noun, and we will name it CSLearner, right? Rocks at YouTube tutorials. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. That would hurt my self-esteem. Oops. Phrase variable to dot yell phrase, and like I mentioned earlier, we can actually make something equal to. So we'll make a string, test string. Test string is equal to phrase variable to dot shoot, where is it? Return phrase. There it is. System.out.println. Oops, test string. All right. So you can see, so to explain what we're doing, right? That's a constructor. And constructors construct or create a new copy of our class. This is a method call. It performs an action that our class can perform. This is another constructor. We made this one. Other method call. And then for this one, let's see what I want to do for this. So we created a new string variable. We made the string variable equal to the output of our class's return phrase. method. This is just there to test our method, test the string. All right. I guess let's adjust this. So I think you do like /. This is a test. I have not personally done this, so. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. We got it. So this one, the /, it just allows me to use a quote, because normally the quote is like actual syntax. All right. Well, thanks everyone. That was it's kind of scatterbrained, but that was my tutorial using Java about classes. So again, classes are structures and methods put together into one thing. Once you've created a class, you can create new copies of the class, and then any of the methods that you have predefined when you create the class, it'll be there for you to use. So initially creating this class file, it's like a blueprint. It's the blueprint of something we're going to make over and over and over. So for example, if I have a blueprint of a house, once I have that, if I give it to my construction workers, they can construct multiple copies of that house. That's what the class is like. It allows us to construct lots of nearly identical or similar copies of my class. So thank you so much. This was Ken with CSLearner.com, and have a good day.